Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Kim Duramo, the founder of the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine. Welcome to Mind Body TV with Dr. Kim D. I am very excited to share this topic today about anxiety because at this time of year, it's like an all-time high. Suicides are at an all-time high. People go into more distress than ever, and there's a lot of health issues that come up with that, like weight gain and inflammation and chronic illness kind of exacerbating, depression, a lot of things come up with this, and this speeding up at the end of the year. There's a lot to it, and there are really amazing ways we can learn to move through it fluidly so that we don't experience it as holiday stress, but we experience it as the joy that the holidays are meant to be. So this video is going to be about converting that anxiety and that stress or even depression, about eating, about family, about obligations and gifts and whatever, and converting that into joy. Joy is what makes the world go round. It's what makes your heart pump. It's what makes you come alive. It's what helps the body heal. So if we can move into kind of transmuting that fear and that anxiety into this space of joy, that is the most wonderful gift you can give yourself and your world. And it is the most important thing you can do as you complete this year and begin a whole new year, a whole new cycle, a whole new experience of you. So what are the main things that cause so much anxiety and stress around the holidays? So we're going to talk about these three things that are like the main factors that make this so intense, and also the main ways that you can move through this and move more into joy. So the first thing is that we have been cultured to avoid what we feel. We are not cultured to embrace fear and to embrace anxiety. We're cultured to get rid of it at all costs. Here's a medication, here's a lobotomy, here's a shock to your brain, whatever we have to do so you don't ever have to feel this fear. And that doesn't work, as we all know, or look around for 10 seconds and you'll become aware of that. It doesn't work. It actually propagates it makes things worse. When I had severe anxiety when I was much younger, it was all about getting rid of the anxiety, and you got to feel better, and here's medication, and here's this treatment, and here's this therapy. All it did was suppress all of that energy. I never learned what I needed in order to really move through that, to embrace anxiety, to embrace fear, to embrace depression, so that I could live in a fluid way that would last a lifetime, that would be a functional way to move through life and be in fluidity with all of life. So I learned the opposite, like suppress it. There's something wrong with you. This is wrong to feel what you're feeling right now. That is a really toxic way of being. So if you've lived with chronic anxiety, you're aware of that. You're aware of like, this is not any real way to live my life. So what can we do instead? So what we can do instead is really learn how to embrace what we feel, whether it's this endless, bottomless fear, because anxiety, the more we move into it, it's like, whoa, this is like a never-ending, bottomless, intense fear. How can we learn to move through that? So as we begin to feel what we feel in our body, like just connect with your physical body first, right? What do I feel? What's happening in here? Are my shoulders relaxed? Is there back pain? Is there ease in my breathing, or does it feel tight and restricted? That will be the first key to allowing energy to move, is becoming aware of what I feel, just objectively, just allowing it. So curiosity about what I feel, noticing what I feel. And I created the Mind Body Solution for Anxiety. It's one of the programs that I've had to assist people in moving into this and actually feeling what they feel. Now, it's very counter to a lot of other ways that other people do it, where it's like, okay, we're going to get you out of anxiety. You'll never have to feel it again. It will not work. It won't work long term. It'll be this temporary quick fix, but it actually can make things worse, because the anxiety is going to come back, and it's going to come back to be experienced. Would you be willing to just experience what you experience? You do have the ability to experience it and allow it. It actually isn't going to kill you. Your nervous system kind of gets triggered and fired up into fight or flight, and it makes you think that you're about to die. But fear is false evidence appearing real. So you actually do have what you need. So take 3 deep breaths and feel what you're feeling right now. You do have the ability to feel it, and it will move on its own. You don't actually have to make it move or have to do the right thing or have to fix the problem or anything like that. As you allow yourself to experience it, it will shift. And it's really cool because I keep getting these comments on the posts. We just opened up the Mind Body Solution for Anxiety this last month, right now in November, for kind of the last offering where we're going to offer it. And people are posting every day like, oh my gosh, more breakthroughs, more breakthroughs. I let myself feel. Here I was having breakfast. There was this heaviness. There was this depression. And I practiced these tools. I let myself feel what I was feeling. And it shifted in like within a minute. And I went on and had this amazing day. If you can be present and let yourself feel what you feel, you can allow that energy to move. So start with the physical, because a lot of us are not aware of what we're feeling emotionally, what's going on. We think, well, how do I feel? I feel like you shouldn't have done that to me, or I feel like it's not going to be a great day today, but not actually connecting with an actual energy. Like, oh, I feel a lot of anger. I feel tension. I feel fear. So beginning to develop just the physical awareness of what you're feeling right now, you can rub your hands together to practice like, I can feel my hands. And you'll begin to light up parts of your brain, ignite parts of your brain that give you information about what you're feeling in your body. Most of us are kind of living from the head up or breathing just from the top of the chest. We're not like letting ourselves go deep down and embody our full body. So that is the number one thing you can do to allow this energy to move, is begin to be willing to feel what you feel. For those of you who are interested, the Mind Body Solution for Anxiety is at drkimd.com/anxiety, and you can check out that program. There's still a few more days to receive that offer, and I would love to have you in that program. Definitely, it's more about embracing and moving into the fear, which can be so scary, but I guide you through that. It is incredibly freeing. It's the thing that allowed me to move from having severe panic disorder, being like in the ER because I was so panicked, to no longer ever having panic attacks or having chronic anxiety. And it wasn't a quick fix. It was, it can happen really quickly, but it's really through embracing what this is that's coming up in your body. Okay, so learning how to embrace fear and anxiety instead of reject it and suppress it and like, oh, I'm just not going to go see those relatives, or I'm just not going to go to that party. I'm going to avoid it because I'm not capable of handling it. You can learn, just be with your body so you can move through these energies. The second thing that comes up that causes so much holiday stress is that we get triggered left, right, and center around the holidays. We're going to see our friends and closest family. That there can be history there of like the triggers of how we've gone through relationships with them, or what they've done in the past that we're still holding on to, or, oh, I know how this is going to be, and this one's going to do this thing, and then I'm going to do this thing, and we're going to go into this pattern. And we go into these patterns because we're triggered. We're not conscious enough to experience it differently. Okay, so what is that all about? Well, and we spoke last week a lot about how your relationships can trigger you into healing, how this actually invites you into more. Can you let that trigger invite you into experiencing your own pain? Now, why do I want to experience my own pain? I want to run away from pain. I want to escape pain. I just want to have joy. Yeah, that won't work either. Can I let this deepen my joy by deepening my willingness to experience myself? So, for example, you have like your cousin or your mother or your father or your ex to interact with these people through the holidays. And so part of you goes into fight or flight just over that. What you're doing is you're creating a future that you don't want. It's like, I already know what's going to happen and I'm already gearing up for it. And as I gear up for it, I imprint that pattern. So it's like, it can't not happen. That's who I'm going to show up as, and that's who I'm going to trigger them to show up as for me. Like, you're inviting people for how they will treat you. You are setting the program. You are setting the template for how people see you, how they treat you, what they say to you. So what if you erase that chalkboard? So take a few deep breaths. Let everything go. And see that chalkboard of the future. where you're going for the holidays, who you're going to see, what you know they're going to do or they're going to say, and then you know just exactly how you're going to feel. And it's going to be awful, and you don't want to feel that. Okay, now take an eraser and erase all of that. And then blow away the chalk dust and actually just dissolve the whole chalkboard. You don't need to create your future. You can actually just stay in a space of presence. And that's stillness, that's bliss. You can allow your life to be created for you from that space. So just breathe and feel your body. Feel the breath coming through your body. And then do the same thing with the past. All the past holidays, all the past experiences, the past resentments, the past hurts that are still incomplete. And let yourself look at all of those experiences with these relatives, or maybe you were abused, or maybe you were abandoned, or maybe who knows what happened. Someone screamed and yelled at you, and that's how they do it, and everything about those behaviors in the past. And then just erase that chalkboard of the past. You do not need to carry that anymore. Let yourself blow away the chalk dust. Let yourself dissolve the entire chalkboard, and then come back and pull yourself into the body physically. And you could just even like pat your body down, put your hands on your body and like thump your body to bring some sensation and awareness into the now. Your body only lives in the now. Can you be willing to show up as you are, as your true self, into these experiences? Because it is actually the unknown that you're entering. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows how these people will show up? The more you are clear within yourself and present to you, and thank you for the likes and the little hearts coming across the screen, and I certainly welcome comments and questions here too. The more you are present to you, and you're even just physically feeling your body, that's it. I breathe in, I breathe out, I'm here. The more you do that, the more you allow all kinds of amazing unknown possibilities to come in that are very different, sometimes dramatically different. Like, whoa, I can't believe my ex-husband sent me flowers. And I'm having my clients tell me all the time, there are these new experiences, experiencing people in very new ways because they have released the energy they were holding. So as we kind of went into last week, can I allow the triggers of what other people bring up within me to be a healing for me, to help me notice my pain, to help me notice the fear more intensely so that I can choose to be present to it and let it move. Just 3 breaths. Relax your belly. Relax your shoulders. That allows the breath to come fully through the body, and that allows sensation and awareness to percolate and come to the conscious awareness, conscious mind. So it changes your brain functioning, it changes your hormonal functioning, it decreases inflammation. So like, yeah, you're gonna eat all kinds of things. Maybe there's things that are these inflammatory foods, and you're in a peaceful, at least more peaceful state than you've previously been in. So it won't inflame you the same way. Your body will tolerate foods really smoothly. It will eliminate what you don't need very easily. So triggers and flare-ups of illness and things like that won't happen to the same degree. Okay, so that's the second part, is like, how can I invite these experiences with family and friends and triggers and expectations and blah, blah, blah to come up, so that I can allow the energy to move and be more conscious, so that I can let these old kind of unhealed wounds become more aware. I'm more aware of them. That's all they need in order to heal. Your awareness, your willing awareness, instead of like, no, this is terrible. I'm aware of this terrible thing and now I have to fix it. I'm a nightmare and I'm broken. No, just your presence, just your breath. So can I invite these experiences in instead of resisting them? And then the third part was what I was super excited to talk about today, because I put out a video yesterday about this like end of year completion, about how, oh my God, am I really still back there when shit comes up and you're like, I thought I already cleared this. I thought I healed this. I've done 10 years of therapy over this. Haven't I gotten beyond this? And then the dread that comes along with that, like, oh, nothing I've done has mattered. I am still that same person back there, quote unquote. And that's not what's happening at all. The way energy releases and clears or healing happens is more spiral. It happens cyclically. So we'll sort of like peeling an onion. You're like shaving off the edges. You're peeling off a layer. And yes, that is complete. That layer is complete. But as you move through life and you embody greater awareness, consciousness, compassion, more pain or hurt or unresolved whatever will arise. And it will feel or look exactly the same as that pain that maybe was triggered by like your father abusing you. And you're like, oh, I have all these father issues. I got to clear my father issues. Okay, I forgive my father. I'm done. And it comes back up and you're like, oh my God, I haven't gotten anywhere. I'm still right back there being 12 years old. No. What's happening is there's a new layer. The next layer is clearing. This is a gift because it's opening way more space for you to receive joy, love, freedom, health, abundance as never before. It is a blessing. And when we can welcome, like, okay, the next layer of this juicy stuff is coming up to clear. I'm willing to be present to this. I do have more consciousness and compassion than I've ever had before. So I can allow even more of it to shift than I ever have before. It's just a new layer. So you're kind of coming around that cycle to clear a new piece of it. It is always a gift. When you go through the calibration, it might not feel so good, especially if you have this idea that you shouldn't be dealing with this or that you're back there and nothing's ever worked for me and it's all been worthless. It can kind of sink you into more resistance. So you want to remember, like, no, wait. We are completing a year. This is the end of a year. That means I'm going to be a renewed person for the next year. And who am I going to be? I'm not going to bring this baggage with me. I'm committed to amazing abundance and amazing joy. And like, how many people set New Year's intentions that you're like, I want to have the lover of my life and I want to have my dream job. And you go on. And then you're not willing to sit with all the stuff that has to clear in order to make space for that. So instead, freaking invite it. Like, yes. This is all the shit that was in the way that was having me not show up to that abundant life. That was having my physical body be totally burdened and it can't heal the way that it kind of should heal for all the work I'm doing. So can I invite that experience and allow these end of year completions? And like, of course, this can happen anytime during the year, but it's just so big at the end of the year when your system knows like, ooh, we're coming into a big completion here as we start a new year. Okay, so can I let these unfinished, incomplete emotions or incomplete energies or incomplete memories, experiences, resentments, whatever, resolve so that I am more whole and more fulfilled and more receptive than I've ever been before? That's what you want to begin asking yourself. So don't fall into that delusion. The mind will state about like, oh, I'm back there again, or oh, nothing I've done has ever worked. It's total BS. It's old belief systems. You are releasing those as well. I have a question from Christina. Can you address anxiety related to all in the news? I'm highly empathic and intuitive, and I'm experiencing really high levels of anxiety. I'm not sure this is my stuff, but I'm getting triggered by the news, issues related to the environment. Do we just unplug to the world, from the world to find peace? Any suggestions? Yes, I have some suggestions. We are moving from a space, and this is really an invitation for all of us, where we experience life as an empath, like a big cosmic sponge or like a cosmic janitor. I'm cleaning up all the crap for the collective of humanity, into far greater compassion. So if I can live through pure love and to compassion, I can experience everything in grace and ease. The energies, if I walk through the grocery store, which can be really hard if you're quote unquote empathic. I feel other people's energies. I feel their emotions, their unresolved emotions. Or like for myself, I hear their thoughts and their energy patterns. I can hear what's happening in there. And it used to really trigger me. Like I would feel it as if it were my own. it was really hard to go through life that way, like sometimes impossible and excruciating. But as I've kind of come more and more into my own evolution and embracing compassion and pure love for everything I feel and for all parts of me, I can move through those things very fluidly without picking up like, oh, I'm taking on other people's stuff, or the heaviness of all this like victim energy I'm walking through. Instead, it's an experience of deep compassion, and it's truly, truly a beautiful experience. Totally different from how we experience it as a quote unquote empath. In the Embracing Health program, that is one of the main things that we go into, is like transitioning from being an empath into being a transmuter, a being of compassion, so that you walk through all of these fields, like painting with all the colors, allowing all of these energies to present themselves to you, but you experience them from bliss and from appreciation, because you're not stuck there anymore in your own fear or your own despair. So really moving into a very, very different space of experiencing it. When you're an empath, the best thing you can do is like suppress, right? I don't want to feel all this. I can't feel all this. Let me put a bubble around myself. Let me protect myself. When you allow yourself to embrace deep compassion, sensing and awareness becomes an amazing, indefinable gift, because you can allow all possibilities to come in. You can do truly everything. You can allow everything to come into your experience and receive. Every breath is a gift. Every moment is a gift. Very different way of living as a highly sensitive being. So that might be something that calls to you as well. That program is drkimd.com/health. That's a live program where we work privately and in the group together. We start our next one in March. But in general, yes, you can begin to move from experiencing like, whoa, I'm feeling all this stuff. As far as the news, what is it that's having you tune into that news? Okay. If I were to ask you to look around your room, and everyone can do this right now real quick, and notice everything that's green. So like take 20 seconds, look around your room, do a 360, notice everything that's green, everything that's green, everything that's green. And now close your eyes, and I want you to tell me everything that's yellow. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know what's yellow. Did I even see anything yellow? It's what you're paying attention to. So it's not that the yellow's not there. And if you look around your room right now, you might see a ton of yellow. It'll be like, whoa, there we go. Well, what you put your attention on is what's feeding your cells. It's what's feeding your brain. It's what's fueling your life. That's why it's so hard in the holidays, because we have these expectations and these ideas, these memories and this history. And then we're like, oh, I'm going to relive all of that. If you put your attention onto something else, you will have a very different result. So for example, in the healthcare system, cancer awareness, the war against diabetes, the war against chronic illness, we've got all these things where we're trying to fight against this thing that's unwanted. But what if instead we put our attention on health and wellness, flourishing, fruition, creative expression, and allowing vitality, what creates health? Very different awareness than what causes disease. That would allow so much more flourishing to happen. And then it would create possibilities and solutions for people who are suffering from chronic illness. Because what we have seen is that no matter how hard we fight chronic illness, it actually only makes it worse. Whereas when we begin to focus and allow what ignites healing, it does the opposite, and chronic illness becomes obsolete. So the diagnosis goes away, the disease dissolves literally, and health is established. So what am I putting my focus on? If I'm watching all the stuff about war, anger, hatred, all the terrible things that happen today, everything that's going on in the media, that's going to feed very different information to my system. And it's going to make me feel very differently. But what if I create my own news of like, what do I want to tune into? What do I want to learn about? What do I want to hear about? It's just as real. It's actually even more real, because a lot of times people are at a higher level of consciousness who are sharing those kinds of things, more inspired, quote unquote, news or information, and you'll have a very different vantage point. So the hope and the possibility and the realization like, oh, wait a minute, the world is getting to a higher frequency every day, every year. There are so many things coming to light that were really before in darkness. That's amazing and so joyful. There's so much to celebrate. I want to be a part of that. I want to contribute to that. Now I'm living a very different life from, oh God, the world's going to hell in a handbag and it's truly hopeless. Your body will let you know what is actually the truth. Your body calibrates that, and it will feel bad when you buy into falsehood, and it will feel inspired and relaxed and open, and it will feel good when you begin to acknowledge truth. So let your body be your calibration tool here for what you're tuning into as far as news and information, or even people and friends or activities and things that you're doing. What makes you come more fully alive? Be willing to choose that. The mind will say, oh, but you'll miss out and then something bad will happen and you need to be informed. And that's total crap, because try it for a week, try it for a month. And you'll find not only that you become a different person and your body changes, but that you're absolutely fine not knowing any of that pop culture stuff that they tell you need to know. And the stuff that's truly important will filter through and you'll get what you need. You know, like there was a hurricane in Puerto Rico, maybe a month, it was probably 2 months now ago, and we have family there. So we didn't miss that just because we're not in front of the news every day. All right, so thank you everyone for the likes. Heather, I find it difficult to be around the people who are so sad and stuck, but I know I can't avoid it. I want to help them, but I don't think it would even help. Yeah, we can't help anyone. I know in my business, I used to try to help people, heal people. I used to try to help people. And that was heavy for me because it came from a space of like seeing them incapable. Well, they're not okay, and I can help them be okay. Well, now I've got a job, and that's heavy. What I do here is assist people. People already are aligning with their truth. They're already choosing and wanting to awaken to higher possibilities. They just might not know how. Can I assist with that? Can I assist with this process that is already in place by life and that they're already choosing to allow? I had a friend one time say to me, how do you convince people that this stuff works? And how do you convince people to work with you? And, you know, I get this makes sense, but other people probably don't. And I was like, well, those are not the people I'm working with. There are plenty of people who are already awakening, who are already coming to this internal realization of like, wait a minute, I gotta let go of everything I thought about what needs to happen, about who I am, about what I need to do, and embrace something new. And I'm ready to allow this awakening. And so they find me. I don't have to go convince anybody of anything because that is heavy. That's work. That isn't what I'm involved in. So the people who are ready for this, they know they're ready. And life is doing the awakening for us, not me. So yeah, dump the idea of helping anyone. When people are ready, that you'll know. And so let people feel their pain. The most compassionate thing we can do, especially this can happen with our kids, it can be hard, is to let people feel their pain, because we awaken through pain. We awaken through joy as well, but sometimes we're so shut down to joy that the only chance for our awakening is to feel our pain. And the only chance to feel our pain is to have the space to feel it, right? If everyone's protecting you or buffering you or trying to help you, you really can't go there. If it's difficult to be around people who are sad and stuck, the first thing to do is you've got to resolve what that is within you. Where is that resonating within me? Where like I'm stuck, or I'm haven't completed with my own sadness, right? Because if something's coming up over and over and over, and these patterns of like your patients that come to see you or your family members that keep triggering you, if there isn't completion of that energy in you, you're not going to be able to get rid of that. You're not going to be able to get rid of that person, because even if you do, ended that relationship. Well, like another relationship is going to come in. And if you're still resonating in that energy that you haven't completed, life is going to assist you by bringing you the same energy in a new relationship. And you're like, oh my God, I just and now I have another abuser. And it comes back again. It's not a curse, it's a gift. But again, if I can be present to what it brings up in me, the anger, the sadness, God, I feel like a victim when I'm with this person, whatever, and just allow that yes to this energy, yes to this experience, yes, yes, yes to all of it. Breathe fully and witness it. I love you, I love you, I love you. You can do the Ho'oponopono mantra to that part of you. You allow yourself to release resistance to that sadness. Doesn't mean you release the sadness. That will happen on its own. You release resistance to that sadness because what you resist persists. There's a video I did called Transcending the Emotional Scale. It's on my YouTube station, and it's exactly about this, transcending the emotional scale. It's not that, oh, I'll never be in sadness again. Finally, I'm free. I'm only going to feel joy. No, it's actually, I release all the resistance I have to sadness, to despair, to depression, to fear. I'm willing to feel it fully. And so now, because I've released the resistance, I never get stuck there. It doesn't happen. I may sometimes touch in it and move fluidly through it, and that's okay. It's not a problem. It's only a problem if you're so uncomfortable with it that you don't allow it, and then you have resistance. So hey, paint with all the colors, allow the experiences of all the emotions, but they'll move very fluidly and beautifully when you've completed it within you. That is when you'll find that those relationships fall away, or you can release them and allow something very new to come in. So if you feel like I have to be with these people, I can't get away from them, that may or may not be true. But when you find that pattern, it's like what's unresolved within me, that by allowing it to complete, it will change my external experience of how I'm experiencing other people. Okay, let me go through these questions. Thank you for these comments and questions and hearts and likes. I appreciate your help with clearing the old stuff before the new year. Thank you. I need to do this. It's great to remember. We could do it every day, but like at the end of the year is such an invitation. Your birthday is another point, a pivotal point, because in your mind-body system, it knows, oh, there's new energy coming in. I'm 31 and now I'm going to be 32, and that holds a whole different energy in it. Or it's 2017 and now it's going to be 2018. And what's the energy of 2018? What are the possibilities? Oh, this is my year. You can take advantage of that and receive so much. So letting yourself clear out is really helpful. All right. Excellent question for me too, Christina. There's a level. This is Jean. There's a level of higher resonance as I allow all that I feel. Transmuters rock. Woohoo! Yeah, so becoming from an empath to a highly sensitive transmuter. Tanya, thank you. Yes, I tried this media detox for 6 months now after your suggestion, and I totally agree. It is really powerful because sometimes when we're plugged into the media, that alters our belief systems of what we see is possible. Just like you look all over the room and you see green, everything's green, but there's yellow, there's blue, there's red, there's, purple. And you're like, what I bring my attention to is what I experience as reality. Diogo. Dr. Kim, which is the best way to change our frequency when we are in a moment of anger or anxiety? So thank you for this question. So take a few deep breaths, because what we'll do, and why the Mind Body Solution for Anxiety program is so different, is because what we'll do is we've got to get out of anxiety. We've got to make anxiety go away. We've got to fix the brain. We've got to get out of fight or flight. Boom, I'm going to fix a problem. And you could take 10 years studying brain research and brain science and tools and techniques and strategies. Have at it as long as you would like. I did. And you will come to the conclusion that there is something that's even more freeing. There is something that's even more in ease. There's something that's even more of a gift than working to get rid of anxiety. And that is to truly embrace everything that I feel in the now. I can only experience life in the now. So it's a new way of living that is true freedom. So receive a few deep breaths, feeling your anxiety or your anger. And if it's not really up now, become aware of a time when it was up, or a time when you think it's going to be up. Oh, I've got to do this thing later and I'm not going to like it. So just feel what you feel in your body. Put your hand on your heart. Take a few breaths. Let your shoulders relax as best you can. And then sort of like turn up the volume on that fear. Where does it live in your body? Do you feel it in your shoulders, like a heaviness? Does it feel like it's strangling your throat? Does it feel like pressure on your chest, fluttering in your solar plexus? What does it feel like physically? So you will have some physical experience of this if you tune in. So just take a few deep breaths, and where does this anxiety live in me? I know for me, when I would feel it, it would be like, oh, like getting kicked in the solar plexus, or like a squeezing. So in this moment, for this 10 seconds, would I be willing to just let myself feel it? Let myself feel it fully and breathe fluidly through the experience. And so I'm not trying to change my frequency. That will happen as a result. I am moving into curious exploration of what I'm feeling. I'm actually moving into the fear. I'm choosing the fear. I'm saying yes to the fear. I'm saying, what do you need? So now you can breathe. That's the first component, is like feeling, awareness, breath. And then you can do another component that I'll add to this that goes along with the work that I teach, is bring in light. Bring in light, like light is coming through the top of your head, from beyond the top of your head down through you, and bring that light with the breath into this area where you feel the anxiety. And so if we do this now, you see it expand. If it's your solar plexus, you'll see that area expand with the breath. Let the light expand, and then just let it stay expanded as you exhale. If we practice this now, you can use this at any moment while you're going about your day, when it's in the moment, when it comes up. So just practice now. Or if it's around your throat, so many people I've worked with, it's like, oh, I feel like it's strangling my throat. So just yes, 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 yes to this. What is this? Let me explore this. Breathe light into that area. Breathe light into that sensation. And then the third component, so breath, light, love. Love is what heals the body. Yes, there are physical reflections of it that can come in. Even medicine can be healing, but it has to come from a space of pure love and from opening. And this is very scientific. There is not a fluffy, airy-fairy. We're not talking about la, 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 fluffy love. I'm so in love with this feeling. No, it's more of, yes, like a warrior of the heart. I will allow this feeling to be everything that it is, and to express everything that it is. So you can bring in the mantra, I love you, with the breath, with the light, into what you sense. All this does, these three things, is it allows this energy to be expressed more fully, to be experienced more fully. You're making space for it to be experienced. The opposite is when you suppress it. No, I don't want to experience. I have to run away from it. I have to learn more and do more and eat right and fix it all. Let's do the opposite. Breathe breath, breathe light, breathe love, and make space. Yes, 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 whatever this is, I allow you fully and completely. And just breathe fluidly through that. And you will witness that dissolve. It might take a few more minutes, so just sit with it. And I'm certainly welcoming your feedback here. The reason I've created the program, like the Mind Body Solution for Anxiety, is because it is excruciatingly hard to sit with our deepest fear, to sit with our deepest grief. And so if you have a way of receiving assistance, it can make the whole difference. I know for me, it took a very long time. I was really young. I didn't have anyone in my life who understood anything about what I was experiencing. So we'd go to the doctor, and it's like, here's your therapy, and here's your medication, and here's your fix your problem. And none of it worked. And most of it made things much worse, especially the medication for me, being super sensitive to like everything chemically. So I would sneak my way off of those medications, and it was like, Kim, it's you and you. And you're not going to keep reaching out to all these other people who want to fix you, because there's some wisdom inside that says something different can happen. So it was over years of like learning to witness what was in my system, learning to breathe with it and allow energy to transmute. I didn't even have a vocabulary for that, but I allowed this awakening to happen within me through that freaking fear, like the thing that was the bane of my existence, the worst thing in the world. It was my greatest awakening. So go figure. But it doesn't have to be like that for people now, because there is so much more awareness and so much more consciousness around ourselves and around what's happening. My birthday is December 18th, Gail. Oh, thank you. I have procedures on December 7th. Good news, ? Well, it's all good news. Thank you. How much water do you think daily? I find water is so beneficial. How much water do I drink? A lot. I'm pregnant, so we're thirsty. And there's my, we got this whole baby belly here, so it's a lot of water. I actually had a client recently who was like calculating her water, and there can be a lot of rigidity around that when we're like, I have to drink this much water. I've just become very connected with my body, so I can feel what's a contribution to me and how much water is enough. And so it's a lot more in fluidity with food and water and things like that. It's not as much calculating, I'm going to drink this many liters a day. So it's different for each individual. Water is really a beautiful way to purify the body, especially if you like put a blessing on your water. I'll write thank you or I love you on my water bottles. Masaru Emoto has some really beautiful, beautiful research about that, about how the molecules of water carry and embody those higher frequencies of love and can purify the body. And it's pretty amazing, like what that can actually do to detoxify the body. So that can be really fun. He wrote a book called Messages in Water. And then there was a subsequent book, because I read the first one a long time ago, but the subsequent one I read more recently. And I'm like, oh my God, everybody needs to read this. Every doctor needs to understand this. This is the new era of medicine, understanding the energy of molecules, the energy of matter, the energy of the body is what is really allowing us to break through into profound healing. Martha says, yes, I really became aware of this need to help coming up for me within my family over the holidays. Yeah, and I chose to allow others to feel their own fear and pain, but without the need to fix them. I initially got sucked into feeling their point of view, but regrouped and stopped back to observe it and feel compassion rather than assuring it for them. Thank you so much for your coaching. Thank you, beautiful Martha. I've worked with Martha privately as well and live, and she's just done amazing in the last few years with moving through so many beautiful things and really such a profound awakening. So thank you for sharing that. Martha, you look fabulous. Just imagine and hear Billy Crystal saying that. Thank you. All right, everyone. We are going to be completing. If there's any last comments or questions, we'll put them up there. But I will also, for those of you who are listening on recording, welcome. And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, because we are going to convert this to a podcast, Mind Body TV. I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for being here. I'm at drkimd.com. I'll be here live every week, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to actually be on a different Facebook group starting next week. And so be sure you're subscribed at drkimd.com. We'll post it here on this Facebook group too, where we'll be. It's a new page called Addicted #2 Yoga, Addicted to Yoga, who is a group interested in broadcasting Mind Body TV. So I'm super excited to be sharing with that community. And I just want to share love with everyone here in my community. I'm so excited to be connecting here with you. There are a few days left on the Mind Body Solution for Anxiety. If that calls to you and speaks to you, I would love to assist you through that integration. It's drkimd.com/anxiety. And as always, I love sending out free content and sharing in the Mind Body community, which is my Facebook group. We will have the book back on Amazon. People are asking about that because people have wanted to buy it for Christmas, the Mind Body Toolkit. So that will be back on Amazon in a few days, and it's a great Christmas present. I've just received so many really wonderful testimonials for people who have read the book, or it's on my website, drkimd.com. That it comes with a video program if you buy the ebook version. But I've had a lot of great feedback from people who've purchased that package, and just really seen the aliveness start to come in, and the body start to heal, and the abundance start to come in through life. So I'm very excited to be sharing that as well. So we will complete our session of Mind Body TV with Dr. Kim D, and I wish you all a really beautiful entry into the holiday season and completion with this year as we all move into such a beautiful, beautiful expansion for 2018. Sending you all so much love, and I'll see you soon. Bye.